This week's Parashat is Vayeitzei, and Vayeitzei sees Yaakov fleeing and running from his brother Esav, which of course was the end of last week's Parashat. He leaves Beersheba and goes to Haran, to the family of his mother. And when he flees, he lies down, puts rocks together, and sleeps. And we're told that when he sleeps, we read, he has the vision of a ladder, a famous, of course, vision and dream of Jacob's ladder, the Sulam of Yaakov. What I find interesting is the language of the dream that talks about a ladder, and it specifically tells us that he stood on the land, mutzav arza, v'rosho magia hashamayma, and its head arrives at the heavens. And so in a way, what I find interesting is looking at the vision, the dream of Yaakov, of Jacob, as a balance in an approach of a person between the heavenly and the worldly. I remember learning in my master's about fundamentalism. And fundamentalism, many people define as an approach which values the heavenly, the godly, but doesn't, in a sense, value as a balance to that our relationships with other people. Can be exclusive, can be literalist, and of course can be as well quite extreme. And these are challenges that today we're facing the world over. An approach to religion which can be quite based at the top of the ladder, but not down here, grounded and earthly. I think that's a very Jewish approach. A religion that is bringing God into the world through our texts, through our learning, but is also very earthly as well. But at the same time, because fundamentalism often has been a redressing, a rebalancing of secularization in the world, sometimes out in the secular world, there are challenges and difficulties with the religion. And so some religious customs, some religious ways of life look difficult. A report came out this week, the Casey report, which is fascinating to look up online and have a look at, which worried about continued segregation of religious communities in British society, but also was a bit worried about some of the possible practices going on in those societies. And I think we've got to be careful here. Again, we need the ladder to have the earthly side and the godly side, agreed. But today, in Britain and in other parts of the West, we often have to be careful that our more secular or modern approach doesn't reject the possibility that religious people will do religious things that might look a bit different, might jar with our modern sense, but still should be given the possibility to explain and be part of our diverse society today. And so the ladder, something that happened a long time ago, which has many different symbolic explanations, for me has a really interesting symbolic interpretation relating to how we balance religion with society, democracy, and the life we live together. Shabbat Shalom.